What's up, guys? Toogie here, back again, and welcome to the first episode of my new franchise mode series here on NHL 18. I've been waiting for so long to say that. With the Hartford Whalers, we are using the 30-second expansion team option. As you probably just heard Emmy jump across the room. That's okay. If you don't know who that is, that's my dog. She's adorable. If you watch me on Twitch, though, you are very familiar with her. Anyway, also, you might be asking yourself about the intro. Like, what was the point of the whole fade into the Whalers logo? Obviously, it's a Whalers series with the thumbnail. I'm not going to use the thumbnail for the first episode. If you're watching that when this is first coming out, you know that. If you're watching this in the future, then you're like, hey, that was pointless. And I agree. But damn it, I cater to those in the moment. What am I even talking about anymore? Anyway, again, this is the first episode of my new series with the Hartford Whalers. Now, last year, when relocation was first a thing, we ended up using the Quebec City Nordiques, and we relocated the Blue Jackets. This year, we don't have to relocate anybody. We can just make the 30-second team. We are bringing back the Whalers. Might not be the most original idea, but of course, with the 30-second team option, you are going to see a lot of YouTubers, a lot of streamers end up bringing back teams. And for me, no better team to bring back than the Hartford Whalers, and I cannot wait to begin this series. So let's not wait. With the exception of creating our AHL affiliate and the Blues as well. I completely forgot that you could do that. Right, so I didn't want to take an hour, and I'm not that creative, so I just went with the Connecticut Whale as the AHL team. Good? Yes? No? Oh, and for the jerseys, I just went with the apply team colors option. I don't think they're that bad, right? They're not terrible? Anyway, that's taken care of. I left the St. Louis team the same way because honestly, it's not a bad created team. We have the Connecticut Whale, so that's now going to be technically the Whalers, Hartford Wolfpack, and Connecticut Whale that all play in the same arena. The XL Center is going to be busy. That is what I am saying. Now, as far as what I'm going to do with all these settings, owner mode is going to be off because it's a pain in the ass. Morale system has also been a pain in the ass at times. You can turn it off this year. I'm going to leave it on. That could be a mistake, but I'm going to leave it on, and we'll see what happens. The main reason I want to leave it on is because that way I can't just get, a bunch of top 4 defensemen and have really a first pairing caliber defense as my third pairing. I want to avoid that, and if you have morale off, you could technically do that. But aside from that, I think we are pretty much good to go. Of course, the downside is a feature that was supposed to be in is not currently in, and you can't choose what division you are in. So we're going to be in the Central, with Nashville, Chicago. Oh, such fun. And let's see here. By the way, computer trade is fine. Ownership difficulty is fine. We'll turn up the difficulty to hard. Injuries are going to be on, but again, I'm going to lower the difficulty. Lower the difficulty? Not lower the difficulty. Lower the injury frequency. Also, the other main reason why I want morale to be on is because of this little chestnut right here. Now, if you watch the Manhattan Project, you would know that we had injuries with Brady Shea. Well, what this will do determines how much the CPU manages the user minor league team. We don't need that. But what this will do, like with Brady Shea, it was, he's going to be out until December 7th. So by December 4th, it's like, hey, I'm good enough to play. What happened in that series was Brady Shea by the 6th, it was like, I'm 100%. I'm a day early. Problem is, we simmed through a game on the 6th, and then he dropped like 5 morale points. With this little feature here, the return warning, we should be all right, and that shouldn't be an issue, and we are pretty much good to go. As far as the injury slider is concerned, I'm going to drop that to about 10 out of 100. Typically works out all right. I know a lot of people don't like the injuries. I like the added, the added challenge that injuries provide. But I think that pretty much covers it. As always, I feel like I've made a mistake somewhere, but you know what? Screw it. Let's go. We're fine. We can do this. We can get through this. We can go and we will begin. The Hartford Whalers are back, baby. Now, before we even get to select our team, we do get the draft lottery results. We ended up with the second overall pick. Now, again, keep in mind, you can't use up-to-date rosters, so we are redrafting the 2017 draft. This has basically guaranteed us either Nico or Nolan. Whoever Colorado doesn't take is who we're going to go with, unless I either trade someone away in an Eric Lindros style or trade down out of that spot, maybe with Vegas or Vancouver, and pick up an extra couple of draft picks. We have options. We have options. All right, let's go. Let's do this. The expansion draft is here, and this will probably be pretty damn time-consuming because there are a lot of teams where you could either go with this player or that player. Not too many slam dunks. Unlike with the Anaheim Ducks, Sammy Vatanen's the guy. He will be selected by 99% of the people that you see doing this 30-second team expansion draft option, which is understandable. He is, without a doubt, the best option there. Arizona. I mean, do you have anybody decent? Jamie McGinn's contract really sucks. Richardson might not be terrible. I don't think Burmistrov will get much better than Richardson. On defense, do we have anybody? Oh, God, Luke Shen. No. And then Chad Johnson and Louis Domingue as goaltenders. Right, Arizona, we'll come back to you because, oh God, those options. Oh God. The Bruins. Now, Stafford, Bolesky, Jimmy Hayes, absolutely not. Dominic Moore, no. I mean, so defense, McQuaid, Killer, or, of course, Malcolm Subban's going to be there as a goalie. Yes, he is. I mean, he's going to also pretty much be the consensus pick. And I don't think I'm going to be any different. He is kind of the obvious choice now, isn't he? Even if we end up trading him away. Buffalo. Who do you have? Nobody is the answer. At least offensively. On defense, who do we have? Bogosian, but his contract is miserable. Georges, not a great contract either. Or Dmitry Kulikov, who we could probably sign for cheap. Cody Franzen, too. Oh, God. Or Linus Allmark as a goalie. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to Buffalo. Not like any of the options are that great, though. Calgary. I know, by the way, I don't have to back out. You don't got to remind me. I don't have to back out. It's fine. We'll be fine. Calgary, Brouwer, Versteeg, Ferland, all third-line guys. I mean, maybe. Whoop, wrong trigger. See, look what you made me do. On defense, Stone, Weidman, if I want 80 extra penalty minutes a year. And the goaltender, Mike Smith, no, thank you. Carolina. Now, to be honest, maybe I'll just look at all my goalie options here first. So we already took Malcolm Subban, right? Which is fine. We're not going to take anybody from Anaheim. I don't want to get this piece of paper in front of me for a reason. So let's just say Chad Johnson, for example. We'll put him on the list. We could also put Linus Allmark on the list. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to look at every goalie at once? I think it would be, but you can't. But that's fine, because damn it, I'll put in the effort. I'll write every name down on this damn piece of paper that I have to. We will make it through this together. Korpisalo's absolutely being selected. I don't even know who else is on Columbus. I mean, Korpisalo has to be the guy, right? Josh Anderson's not bad for a third, fourth liner, but, I mean, come on now. Yeah, he's the pick. And again, he will be one of those consensus picks. Dallas, no. Detroit, I mean, if Mrazek was there, maybe, but no. Edmonton, absolutely not. I mean, well, Brossois not awful, but still. Reimer, 5-year contract. That's the only reason why I'm saying no. Absolutely not to anybody on LA. Of course, you can't go past Jack Campbell without reminding everybody about what a draft bust he was. Darcy Kemper. Hold on here. We got Eunice Korpisalo. We got Malcolm Subban. There we go. We got to write that down. We got to be thorough. Al Montoya. Inigo Montoya. Nobody great. Halak. No, thank you. Skapski. Mackenzie Skapski, no thanks. Mazanec, go back to the KHL. Keith Kincaid, no. Ottawa, the Hamburglar of Mike Condon, no. Oh, actually, Mike Condon might not be the... go with Al Montoya. What else do we have? Neuwirth, not for that contract. Stolars, though. Stolars, very good option. Nobody on Pittsburgh. San Jose, Aaron Dell. I mean, decent, cheap option, actually. Let's write Aaron Dell's name down. Anybody else? Bennington. I mean, Bennington isn't awful, but God, there are so many goalie options. Holy shit. Who else do we have here? Peter Budaj. Toronto has Sparks. Bebo, no thank you. Ryan Miller from Vancouver, no thank you. Grubauer might be a pick. And then Hutchinson from Winnipeg. Right. So, first name that really comes to mind, Philadelphia and Stolars. Is there anybody better on Philadelphia worth taking? Radko Gudas? Not really. Manning's a good cheap option, but we can find other defenders. And then is there a forward we'd want aside from Andy Mille, former Portland Pirate? I mean, not really. Not really. Scott Lawton might not be a bad pick. Right. Jordan Wheel, I mean, if he was a little bit better, like he probably should be. So, Lawton or Stolars? Lawton or Stolars? So again, we have Korpisalo, we have Malcolm Subban. Looking at other options here, I mean, we could go with the Grubauer-Korpisalo tandem. Is there anybody better? If I can remember to hit the right trigger. Stop it, damn it. Washington. Is there anybody better? Justin Williams, Tom Wilson, Tyler Gravach. I think I'm probably butchering that name. Defense, Alzner, Shattenkirk, Kevin Shattenkirk. Poor Shatty. Only an 83. Only an 83. I mean, I don't know. Shattenkirk might be the better option, which pretty much means Stolars is the guy here. Let's check San Jose again, shall we? So instead of Aaron Dell, Paul Martin's terrible. So who else could we go with? Chris Tierney. Right. Tierney's a really good pick. So much so that we're actually going to select him right now and take Aaron Dell out of the running. Let's go take a look at the Minnesota Wild. I mean, yeah, it's just not going to be Kemper. That's not going to happen. Forsberg, Montoya, Bennington, Grubauer. Right, so I don't think Grubauer is going to happen. I don't think Bennington's going to happen either. I mean, there's got to be somebody better on St. Louis. Edmondson, for example, or as a forward. I mean, well, granted, forward options aren't tremendous, but yeah, it's not going to be Jordan Bennington. How about on Montreal? Who do we got? I mean, it was Montoya. I'd probably rather go with Philip Deneau. So we'll cross him off the list. That brings me to Forsberg on Chicago. Is there anybody better? Kruger gets paid a lot, though. But cap isn't really going to be an issue for us. Ville Polka. Yep, sorry, Anton. I loved you in our QC series. You are not the pick. Buffalo. Now, we could... With Buffalo, we could go with Bogosian, Georges, Kulikov, or we can go with Allmark. So we'll keep that in mind. Allmark or Johnson, for that matter. So it comes down to either an extra forward in Lawton or an extra defenseman from Buffalo. So we're either going to take Stolars or Allmark. That's how we've listed that down. So we'll just keep that in mind. We'll go through the rest of the teams and see what we are dealing with. So let's go talk to Carolina. Or not talk to them. Let's demand a player from them. We deserve this player. Phil DeGiuseppe, I mean, Lee Stempniak's 34. That's the one concern there. How much use are we going to get out of him unless we trade him at the deadline? Trevor Carrick, high AHL top 2 defense can work. But, I mean, yikes. I don't know who to take there. Let's look elsewhere then. Colorado. Now, again, we know we don't need a goaltender. We've already sorted that out. So, defensively, Oh, God, it's awful. All right, so forwards. Yikes. So I'd say it comes down to Nieto or Andrighetto. Nieto's 1 point better. Andrighetto has arguably better potential, but they're both 24. I'm going to take Matt Nieto. I'm going to take Matt Nieto and make my buddy Sin proud. If you don't know who I'm talking about, his link is in my channel like friends list deal. Fellow NHL YouTuber. Hell of a guy. Hell of a bowler, in case you didn't know. He tears up the lanes. Go say hi to him. Go say hi. Dallas. Dallas. Who do we got? Who do we got? Oh, God. I mean, Roussel or Nemeth/Johns. Great options. Detroit. We didn't pick from Detroit yet, I don't believe. So who do we have? Forwards? Abdelkader, Helm, Glendening. Not with those contracts. Not with that term. I mean, Glendening, not a bad pick, but 5 years? Fuck that. Defense. Xavier Wallet. Still probably butchering that. Now, I'm basically saying Wallet, which, I mean, it might be right. I should learn. Again, I called him Professor X in the past. We are going to select him again. He is definitely the best option from Detroit, I would say, unless I want to take a forward who has unbelievable term. Edmonton, Mark Letestu, Benoit Pouliot. If he was on that new Buffalo deal, I think he went back to Buffalo. Yeah, he's on Buffalo. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Jokinen that went to Edmonton. Regardless, those two players, not bad. You probably hear Evie, my dog, looking like she's trying to go after her own neck. But, you know, itches, scratches, what can you do? If you're not familiar with my dog, then you clearly don't follow me on Twitch. And for that, I say, what's the matter with you? Link is in the description. Should be ashamed of yourself. Anyway, defense from Edmonton. God, no. No. So that means we are taking a forward, and that means we're going to take Mark Letestu. Some people might be saying Tyler Pitlick, but he's 25 years old. He's not going to get that much better. I mean, he could be a fourth liner for me. How good's Letestu? He is third line worthy. I mean, it comes down to Letestu or Pitlick. It really does. Or Jujar. Jujar Kyra. Currently listed as another, not another, but an other forward. I mean, that's a tough pick. We'll come back to that. We will come back to that because I don't know if we're going to need a depth player or if we're going to need a third or fourth liner. So we'll see. Florida, again, UC Jokinen, $4 million for 2 years. I mean, it's not that bad, but he is 34. I'd rather get somebody who's going to be around for a little bit longer, although he could be trade bait at the deadline. He could be, and that's something we have to think about. Or we could go with Demirs, who could be a good top four defenseman for us. Petrovic, who could be a third pairing guy for us. And then, of course, the goalie doesn't factor in. So, again, we will wait. We will wait. But UC Jokinen might be the selection, despite that bad contract, just because he's trade bait. LA, who do we have? Gabrick and Ginla, no. Dustin Brown, no. Again, how beneficial would it be to be able to make a trade with LA saying, hey, we'll take this guy if we can get picks? That's not a thing, though. Jordan Nolan, Nick Dowd. I mean, there's a consensus pick here. It's Martinez, and we will absolutely pick him up. Billy Polka, Chicago. There wasn't anybody that much better on Colorado. The best player on Colorado was Soderberg, right? Yeah. And then the best guy on Chicago was Campbell. Columbus? We picked Korpisalo, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we did. Dallas. I didn't select anybody. Right. And then Detroit, we went with Xavier, which, again, is probably the best option. So we need to go down to Minnesota. And, I mean, we could go with Hansel or Zucker, or we could go with Brodin. And Brodin is probably the popular choice, and for good reason. And I think that's probably who we're going to take, too. He is the best player available, so even if we don't hold on to him, he should get us the best return. Montreal, who do you got for me? I'm going to look at defenders first. Markov, Jordy Ben, Davidson, Nestorov. High top 6, but he's 24. Wow, he is overrated, isn't he? Just a little bit. Or we could go with someone like a Paul Byron or a Philip Deneau. And Deneau might not be a bad option. Probably a better third-line option than Mark Letestu. Of course, Andrew Shaw has a 6-year contract, so no thanks. Byron's also a third-line guy. I mean, I think our decision's been made. And it's clearly Stephane Matteau. No, I'm joking. I am joking. Philip Deneau, welcome aboard, pal. Welcome aboard. So that's our second center. We have Tierney and Deneau, although I think Tierney is also a third-line guy, so that could complicate things, but you know what? We'll figure it out. In due time. I could easily trade away half of this team before we even play a game. Forward-wise from the Islanders, nope. Defense. I mean, it comes down to Hickey, DeHaan, or Ryan Pulock. Do we want to go for a third-pairing defenseman, maybe even top 4? Wow, both of them are top 4, huh? Both of them are top 4. Looks like DeHaan's slightly better offensively, and Hickey is slightly better defensively and physically. Or we can go with the prospect in Ryan Pulock. Currently listed as depth guy, although we pretty much want to play him at the NHL level. Okay, you know what? We'll pass on. We'll pass on making a decision there for now. From the Rangers, Holden Smith. I mean, not great. For forwards, we have Grabner, Jesper Fost. That's pretty much it. Tanner Glass as well, which I'm sure a lot of people are screaming right now for me to select him. As far as defense goes, I think we have better options. Clearly. I mean, they're not on bad contracts. And because at least Smith doesn't have his new contract with the Rangers. I'm going to go with Grabner. I am going to select Michael Grabner. And he will probably have top 6 minutes. From the Preds, the Nashville Purds. Who do we got? Yarncroke, Austin Watson. Yarncroke has a 6-year deal. Jesus. P.A. Parento as well. Or Ekholm. Could go with Yarncroke. Going with Ekholm because he should have the most value by far. All right. New Jersey. New Jersey. Who do you got? Who do you have? And I mean, slim pickings. DSP is absolutely up there. For defense, we have Lovejoy, Green, Prout, Helgeson. I mean, it's Devontae Smith-Pelly. that might have been, aside from Sammy Vatanen, the easiest selection yet. From the Ottawa Senators, who's it going to be? Clark MacArthur? No. Wingles, Dzingel, who might get better? Maybe? Possibly. Defense, we have Weidman, not a bad third-pairing guy at all. Not at all. So it's Weidman, or I'd probably say either Wingles or Dzingel. Both are third-line guys. Dzingel is not even better offensively. Wow. How are they the same overall? I guess, Wingles would be the guy. Wingles would be the pick. And again, as far as defensive options, I mean, Weidman's there, but we should have better options. We've already taken 6 defensemen. Let's go with Tommy Wingles. I didn't think I'd say that. Dzingel, but he could get better. Dzingel could get better. Maybe. Possibly. Going with Wingles. I will take Tommy Wingles. We'll reunite him with Matt Nieto. Philly, of course, it's a goaltender selection or Scott Laughton. But from Pittsburgh, who do we have? Kunitz, Cullen, Wilson, Kuhnhackl. It's probably going to be Wilson, let's be honest. But who do we have on defense? Who do we got? Yikes. Ian Cole? Brian Dumoulin? Brian Dumoulin might not be too bad of a pick. For Pittsburgh, it comes down to either Watson, Kuhnhackl. Watson? This isn't Nashville, man. What are you doing? Wilson, Kuhnhackl, or the defenseman whose name I already forgot, so I'm going to wait. San Jose, we already took Tierney. St. Louis, Edmondson, probably. Or forwards, Vladimir Sobotka. Yeah. I mean, no great options. Dmitry Yaskin's 24. He's not really going to progress. I think just by necessity, because I don't want to get stuck. Even though we are absolutely going to be rebuilding, we're going to be taking the Vegas approach, especially because we have fewer solid options. I'm going to have to go with Edmondson. I know we have plenty of defensemen already. I mean, I still need at least 2 more for the bare minimum, but he is the choice. Again, I don't have to take 5 left wings. I could literally draft all defensemen if I wanted to, and I might. What do we have on Tampa? Forwards, JT Brown. Fellow Twitch streamer JT Brown. What's one thing you have in common with JT Brown? That is where the list begins and ends, I am sure. But we could take JT Brown. Cedric Paquette might get better. Maybe? I mean, he might be the guy here. Who do they have on defense? Who do we have? Braden Coburn, Jake Dotchin. Well, if I need someone to try and break a leg, I mean, Dotchin's the guy, right? Dotchin would be the guy. I mean, based on other defensemen, I'm probably going to go with Paquette. 4th line guy. Awful center. Just awful. Despite being listed as a center. 60 face-offs. Yikes. But it could be that 4th line left wing. Or I could go with JT Brown. Technically a depth guy. Could play him on the 4th line. My one thing with Paquette, though, is he might get better. Maybe. And I think JT Brown's pretty much locked up where he is. I'm going to go with JT Brown. I'm going to pick JT Brown. Is that a way to kiss up to him on Twitch? No, not at all. What are you talking about? No. Toronto, who do we have? Connor Brown. I mean, how can I not take Connor Brown? On defense, Matt Hunwick, Martin Marincin. How is he? Top 6. You are drunk. Connor Carrick. Connor Carrick or Connor Brown? Those are the 2 options. No doubt about it. Connor Carrick is a top 6 defenseman. I mean, again, based on the defense we already have, I think I'm going to go with Connor Brown. Yeah, I'm going to go with Connor Brown. Again, might be the obvious, but those are the only 2 choices I could see anybody making. Vancouver. The Canucks. Who can we take from Vancouver? Jack Skilly. I mean, Gounce is probably option 1. You could argue Reed Boucher. But Gounce does show up as a 4th liner, which is helpful. What do we have on defense? Andre Padan. Oh, God. So it's Gounce or Boucher. Now, Boucher wouldn't be bad because I could just play him on the 3rd line, even the 4th line. Gounce would pretty much be locked into that 4th line role, which isn't terrible, and he can play center. So Boucher, I mean, you might make it. You might do some damage. But for that potential at that age bracket, I don't think you're going to make it to even a 3rd line guy. So I'm going to go with Gounce. Right, 18 picks down. Wow, we're not really making that much progress, are we? But I didn't want to skip through this. I know a lot of people just like to see me going through the drafts, which, hey, it is what it is. Let's see. Tom Wilson, Brett Connolly. Do I have to trade 2 second-rounders for him? God, I hope not. Still have nightmares. Chris Bourque is there. Chris Bourque. It sucks because I love Chris Bourque, but somebody has already made Chris Bourque a thing. And of course, that somebody, has been around for a while, so I can't take that now. I can't steal that now. So Shattenkirk or Tom Wilson. Right. I think I'm going to go with Shattenkirk. Who do we have on defense already? Who do we have? So we have Vatanen, Martinez, Brodin, Ekholm, Shattenkirk, Edmondson, Xavier Ouellet, and then Polka. All right, so already as it stands, we're going to have to trade 1 defenseman, which is good. Winnipeg, who do we have? I mean, Tyler Myers' contract sucks, but he might be the best option. Andrew Kopp, though, at 22 years old, is already a 4th liner. I know that for a fact. So I could take Tyler Myers and then probably have to retain salary to trade him. Or I could just keep him. He's not the worst player in the world, just that contract's a bit rough. So I could take another risky defenseman and trade him, or go with Andrew Kopp, who would actually help, which means I'm going to hopefully aim for value, and I'm going to take Tyler Myers. Gonna take Tyler Myers. Right. Okay, so those are the end teams done. Again, it was Tom Wilson or Shattenkirk, Myers or Kopp. Right. Okay, so for Philly, it was Lawton or Stolars. And I think I got to take Lawton here and then take a defenseman. Or I got to take Lawton here and then take Allmark from Buffalo. So that's what I'm going to do. Stolars isn't a bad pick, but that's what I'm going to do. And in that way, we don't have to take another defenseman, at least in this situation. So we'll pick up Linus Allmark. So it's Korpisalo, Subban, and Linus Allmark. We will have to find a backup if I don't select somebody here. Arizona. I mean, I pretty much just have to take the best player available, or, the player that suits the team the best. I mean, defense, there's no value there. So forwards, it's Richardson, McGinn, despite his awful contract. I mean, we'd have Jamie McGinn for 3 years, no doubt. Brad Richardson or Burmistrov was listed as a depth player. So again, he might not be bad on the fourth line, and we could play him in an even better role. He's not going to get better than he is, though. I think I got to go with Jamie McGinn. Take a little bit of the cap hit. Yeah, we'll take Jamie McGinn, which, again, not my favorite pick in the world, but you got to do what you got to do. Calgary. I mean, Stone, again, is a really good option, but who did I already take on defense? I mean, I could take Stone instead of Myers, but no, there was nobody on Detroit that I'd rather select. There was nobody on St. Louis that I'd rather select. I mean, the best option is Stone. No doubt. Brouwer, Versteeg, even a Ferland or Chason would help. I'm going to take Michael Stone. Carolina. Who do we have? Oh, yeah, that's right. We had this mess, didn't we? So defense, I mean, it's Trevor Carrick, maybe. So I think I'm going to take Stempniak, and we'll try to trade him, which we'll see if that works. We might even have to retain salary because of his age, but we'll see. Dallas, again, it came down to a couple of defensemen or a forward. I am going to take the forward. I'm going to go with Antoine Roussel because, again, I mean, there's nobody else really better. So let's go with Roussel. We are making progress. 4 picks left. Edmonton. Ed Money. So I could take Letestu. He's the best option. Yeah, I'm going to take Letestu, even if I have to trade him. We're pretty much just taking the best players available now at this point. Florida. Again, I might not keep him. I'm going to take Jason Demers. He's probably the guy that is most likely to be traded. And then the Islanders. I mean, it's DeHaan or Hickey. It's DeHaan or Hickey. And I'm not sure. Or Ryan Pulock. But what are the odds? Well, I'll take Ryan Pulock in that situation. I mean, 281 overall defenseman. I might be able to get more out of them, but that's who I'm going to go with. And before we make our final selection with Pittsburgh, let's scroll back through really quick. So with Anaheim, Sami Vatanen, no choice. No other option. Arizona, we went with Jamie McGinn, not bad. Buffalo, we went with Boston, we went with Malcolm Subban. Obviously, Buffalo, we went with Linus Allmark. Which, to be honest, I mean, I think I might just go with, I don't know, man. Medium backup for Allmark. I mean, it could be a good AHL goalie for us. I'd like to take Bogosian. The only way I'm ever trading Bogosian is if I retain half the salary on it. Which, I mean, again, for us, he might not be a bad selection. I'm going to go for the best guy available. Allmark's not bad. I'll be able to get better goalies in this first draft. I'm going to go with Zach Bogosian instead. And it's going to bring me to Pittsburgh every time, which kind of sucks. But then again, Vatanen, McGinn, Malcolm Subban, Bogosian, Calgary, we took Stone, who was the best player available. Carolina, we took Lee Stempniak, the best player available. Chicago went with Ville Polka, the best prospect available. Colorado, we took Matt Nieto, who, has a spot on this team. There really isn't a can't-miss player or a can't-miss prospect. I mean, that's the thing. Soderberg, even if I retain half the salary, is not going to be worth much. Columbus, we went with Joonas Korpisalo. There is no other option. Dallas, Antoine Roussel. Not a bad pick, I guess. Detroit, Xavier Ouellet. Again, not a bad pick. I mean, some people might... Abdelkader, though, 7 years. That's the thing. Like, if we take Abdelkader, Helm, Eriksson, Glendening, there's no trading them. Glendening, just because of the cap hit. Or not the cap hit, the term. So, yeah, Xavier is without a doubt the only pick. Edmonton, we took Mark Letestu. I'm cool with that. Again, people are probably screaming, no, Pitlick or Juja or whatever, but no. He is the choice even over Chris Russell. 32 years old, though. It's a little bit rough, but we'll see what happens. Florida, we went with Jason Demers. LA, Alec Martinez. Really no other choice there. Minnesota, we went with Brodin over Hansel or Zucker. Minnesota, we took Philip Deneau. Montreal, we took Philip Deneau. Minnesota, we took Brodin. Montreal, we took Deneau. I'm getting ahead of myself. Damn it. Making the dumb mistakes, which, man, it's always going to happen. So, it's cool. Don't expect any better. The Islanders, Ryan Pulock, yeah, we'll see if that turned out to be the right decision. Rangers, we went with Grabner, which should pay off, hopefully. Nashville, we took Ekholm. New Jersey, we went with Devontae Smith-Pelly. Ottawa, we took Tommy Wingles. Philly, we went with Scott Lawton. Good choice, in my opinion. San Jose, we went with Chris Tierney. St. Louis, we have Edmondson. Tampa, we went with J.T. Brown. Could go with Braden Coburn, but 32 years old, 81 overall. Might be difficult to trade. Would probably get stuck with him. J.T. Brown would have a spot on the team. Coburn might not be bad, though. Coburn might not be bad. Braden, what do you think? I'm going to switch it to Braden Coburn. You may not pick another defender as you'll have insufficient spots. Well, never mind then. J.T. Brown's the pick. Connor Brown from Toronto. With Vancouver, we took Gaunce. Washington, we took Shattenkirk. And Winnipeg, we took Tyler Myers. That brings us back to Pittsburgh. And again, could go with Cole, Dumoulin. Forward-wise, could go with Wilson, Kuhnhackl, or anybody else. I mean, we're gonna take Brian Dumoulin. Nope, I'm not allowed to take Brian Dumoulin. I guess I have to take a forward. Do I have to take a goalie? I probably have to take a goalie. Nope, please tell me I can change that. Okay, remove pick. Thank you very much. All right, good. Well, I guess we're taking a forward then, aren't we? I guess we're taking a forward. And that person is going to be Scott Wilson. Just because he has better potential. That is our team. My God, we made it. The Hartford Whalers are back. The team is abysmal, and it's going to require a lot of work and a lot of trades in the entry draft to get us into a half-decent spot. But damn it, I think I have what it takes, and I hope you feel the same way. We are going to stop this first episode here. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, could have sped through the expansion draft, and I know a lot of people like to see it. Well, of course, we'll have the entry draft and the rest of the offseason, more than likely, in the next episode. But I will say this. If you are excited for the return of the Hartford Whalers, you know what you got to do to support the video and to support the channel. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Links are in the description to Twitter and Twitch if you're not already following along there as well. Guys, that does it. I will see you in the next episode of a series that doesn't have a really catchy name.